This is the sixth base of Exiles on the underground server, and this is Shadow Cave on Aberration. Now I'm standing right over the entrance, and this is the spot that Shadow Cave is located in. And here we go. We got 4 Skelly Towers. We got green, cyan, and an uncolored one. All 3 copy and pasted. We got 2 full chandeliers and 2 half chandeliers up above. And here is a build limit Skelly Tower. It's pink. And it goes down into the water. Now, it doesn't look build limit. Once you look to the side, it goes way down into the water. This is a build limit Skelly Tower. Fun fact about those 2 cliff towers up there, we were raiding this base from Who Cares, and we placed those as defense up above the cave, and those have not moved. They've been permanent defenses ever since we were raiding. This cave took about 3 weeks to raid. About 2.5 weeks, I should say, to be more specific. But here we got a Skelly Tower underwater, half out of the water, half under the water, which is half built on foundations and the other half built on underwater vacuum compartments for foundation support. And then once you get under the Skelly Tower, so right now we're under it, you move into just a horrendous amount of netting. Just drop way down. None of this is 6 times. I'll tell you when 6 times starts, but this is all just tons and tons of netting. And all of this is not 6 times, and it goes way, way down. I'll just zoom way down because it's just a copy and paste of just tons of nets and turrets. And on the bottom here, still not 6 times, but go over to a death wall, and then you start to go back up. So you go down, over, back up, like this, and then up, just more netting, more vacuum compartments, until you get to this little plateau. So that's foundation support with the cliff plats. Got a kind of a mini death wall right here. There's 570 turrets in this range. So then here we got 2 cliff platform towers, and you drop back down to more netting. A lot of netting in this. This is a pain to raid. You drop down to the nets. Here we just got a bunch of not spikes, large bear traps. Just tons and tons of wall turrets and ground turrets, I mean. And then through here in the tunnel, we couldn't place many turrets because of build limit. Or not build limit, turret limit. So here we got 78 turrets, which is right between the netting and the next death wall. So that's why there's like no turrets. You quickly go up, like right here is like 250 turrets. So it's a big drop. Just tons of ground turrets to the tunnel, nameless of course, to the crouch point. And this base is 514 element in every single gen. Now this, I'll back up, kind of like Christmas colors, but this is the death wall. It's not the best crouch point that in the game, but it's not horrible. And then that's the last defense to our breeders. Just our breeders though. So this is our breeding floor. And this top floor would have been the raising floor. Anyways, this is the raising floor, which this is where we would be raising everything. Down here we have, let me turn that off. This is the floor where we bred Arthros, mutation bred Arthros. There's a floor, you just gotta let it all load in. But this is where we did Arthros. Down one more floor, this is where we did Spinos. And we're gonna go through here to go to see the rest of the base. And this loops back all the way around to the beginning up there. Yeah, go through here, you got a chandelier, you got a bunch of ground turrets once it stops lagging. Got a bunch of ground turrets, got a mini death wall, and just like you see on the North Ice base tour, ground turrets in the water. It's the best defense. Here we have the red death wall, which is the last death wall into the crafting station. Here we have the crafting, so we have gunpowder, wraps, all the base materials that you would need, you know. Here we got the best BPs. Pause and look at those if you want. The ADV BPs. This has nothing but ADV BPs in it. Here we have, you know, our extra materials. Around this wall we have our, what are they called? The chem benches and our gunpowder crafting. Here we have our indie wall with metal. Our kitchen with all the kitchen stuff in it. Here, just, you know, war room stuff. So med brews, shadow cakes, shadow steaks, cakes, med brews. That would be moved to the war room as soon as I put refrigerators, but I never got there. Yeah, this is just your average kitchen. Chem benches, more troughs, crock pots, you know, cookers, everything you need. Then if you run over here to the elevator, we have the war room. And to the left of the war room is our BPs. So the whole bottom row is saddles from about 5-10 vaults over there. Over is just tech BPs, and the rest are weapon and not weapon saddles, like weapons and armor BPs. So like if we look in this vault up here, tech BPs, which spill over to over here. Just random weapon with tech BPs, and down here is saddle BPs. That's all these vaults. And if you look over, this is our shards, our ARB. This has around 45 days of ADV. 45 days of ADV, and on all the other maps we average around 20. So this one has the most. Has the most structures too. You know, just an average of the most structures. That's just what I like grinding, because this is my map. And then you have armor, and then weapons, fed suits too, weapons, more weapons, saddles, and then just, you know, your extra stuff. You got your skins, your boss fight stuff, chibies and dermishes. And if you jump back over here, this is our kind of dungeon area. So like we have Art, LS Swap It, Josh, Lola, Nuke, Delay, just a bunch of, you know, kind of ratty people. Got the admin defense, admin speechless. You got our first ever raid, their UAV, not their UAV, that's what it is named, but it's a parasaur. Then you got Liam, which is also a big old snake of a person. You're bad. Savage from KOS, Ryan from KOS, Toxic Blood, which is from Peaky Blinders, first ever raid. I mean, Sav from KOS. But yeah, that is the war room and crafting, which we came from this side. And if we jump over to this side, is another death wall. So we came in on the red side, and we're exiting the pink side, which leads to another death wall and more ground turrets into another part of this cave. So a ton of more turrets, ground turrets, 2 chandeliers, with a bunch more ground turrets up into this room, which this is the personal rooms. Oh, that's not freezing. Personal rooms. So we came through there, and we'll exit through there in a minute, but this is the personal rooms. So if you just come over here, and no one claimed a personal room on this floor yet, but if you go up a floor, I claimed my personal room because I built it. So you got, you know, crowd footage floor, my loot, which hasn't changed since we moved out of the radiation base, but, you know, personal rooms, which is in the artifact room. And then if you keep on moving here, and I'm sorry if there's a lot of cuts in this video, but I DC, so I'll have to go back and start from the point I started recording at, because it does not clip it. This is my 3rd time DCing, but if we keep on moving here, came in from through there, and then we're going out through here, And I never finished this base because I got too busy on other bases, but here would have been just a bunch of ground turrets like you've been seeing so far in most of my bases. Here would have been a death wall with a few floating turrets, with a lot more ground turrets, and through here is a lot of wild dinos, so I'm just going to zoom through it. You know the code. It would have just been a bunch of ground turrets. And I mean a ton of them. Just a bunch of ground turrets. Up to this drop down. So if you keep going up, this could have been a drop down, or maybe even a, would have been a tunnel upwards. You can't really call it a drop up. Makes no sense. But if you come through here, it would have been a drop down, or it would have been a tunnel going up, whichever one you would have came through. If you keep going through here, it would have been just small tunnels with just tons of ground turrets. You can't really do much other than that in these tunnels. Up to here, which I would have put a death wall. A tiny little death wall, but it would have still been a death wall pointing to this little entrance. And if you drop down this entrance, it would have been, this is like another part of the raising floor that you would have saw earlier. So you go straight out. The, here, down there is the Arthros, as you can see. And over here is the raising floor. And that's the whole base here. That's a full loop all the way around. And that'll actually do it for Shadow Cave. So if you guys enjoyed the base tours, all 6 of the Exiles base, or Cluster Alpha on the Underground on ASC. And this tribe actually split apart to a couple of different tribes and on ASA, and we're all still friends, but we're all just different. There's no Exiles on ASA. But we're all moved to ASA on the Underground server, so if you guys enjoy these base tours and want to play, I suggest going to the ASA servers. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.